Zanzibar Islands, the total land area is 640 square miles, but it is also, the population is on an increase. We are now almost 1.2 million people, so the land pressure has always been intensive. People in Zanzibar, the Zanzibar community, benefited from the distribution of the land units by being given a 3-acre plots. That distribution was done in 1964, and most of the poor families own those small pieces of land. With the pressure of population, most of those areas are now having a settlement. Houses are being built. So we see the fertile area being occupied also by houses. The area where there are corals, which is almost like 50% of the area is coral, is rocks, which people have to learn how to farm on that one. In the past, farming in the coral area used to involve shifting cultivation, whereby you plant your crops and then you harvest and then you leave it to regrow, to build up the soil, and you move to another area. Now with the pressure of population, people have to continue production in the same small unit of areas. So in that environment, I consider that we have to do something to intensify, to increase production per unit area, because the land area is not increasing, but the population is increasing. My name is Matima Juma, and I'm a farmer. Previously, I used to work with an international organization, but I consider myself as an advocate for organic agriculture and agroecology. So now, after retirement, I spend most of my time in pushing forward the agenda for organic agriculture, both at the level of sensitization and policy level, but also at the level of production, to tell people exactly what is happening. I'm producing fruits and vegetables from my farm for sale in the local community, and also to sell to the hotels in Zanzibar. And I'm also owner of the institute, the Practical Permaculture Institute, where we offer short-term and long-term training to the local community, and even also to the international students who would like to come and learn about the practical permaculture in the tropical environment. That's what I am. Let me first take this opportunity to thank the head of state of African Union in their support to this push, of which the civil society organization has always been focusing. Ecological Organic Initiative, it is an initiative to support the decision that was made by African Union Commission to heads on in the challenges of agriculture production in our African countries. There are so many ways that African countries have been pushed to go with their agriculture, green revolution, and the likes. So this time, the head of state decided to take heads on the decision to engage ecological organic agriculture. So the heads of states themselves, they had asked the commission, asked the NEPAD committee and coordinators to put together an organic platform for Africa, to make sure that issues of organic development, of ecological organic agriculture are taken care of, starting from country level, by participation of the country level organic movements, going at the regional levels, going at the continental levels, and going at a global level. The Commission, the heads of state, also request from the developing partners in support for financial, in support for technical assistance, in order to make sure that this ecological organic initiative is put in place. So if we go back into, so what is ecological organic agriculture. This is a production system that involves holistic measure, looking into the healthy of the soil, healthy of the air, healthy of the water, looking into the whole value chain, support for marketing, looking into the policy aspects around it, and encourage production with a minimum external input, concentrating more in the local available input, and reduce or completely stop use of the chemicals, pesticides, and fertilizers, industrial fertilizers that are brought in. The system is largely very helpful to the rural poor because it can be implemented within their own available resources. After the brainstorming that happened in Ethiopia with the Institute of Sustainable Development, followed by Pelham, Kenya, with the first meeting to conceptualize the idea, and the support that we had received from SSNC, Swedish Society for Nature, and also Sweden International Development Association, 6 countries started, which is Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Nigeria, and Zambia. Later on, Swiss Agency of Development and Cooperation, SDC, supported scoping baseline studies in Mali, Senegal, and Benin. The support also came from the African Union itself in terms of training in organic standards, certification system, marketing, and operation of CSCs. Lead coordinating organization in this initiative includes BioVision Africa Trust and Pelham, Kenya. And the key pillars that were based in the rolling out of ecological organic agriculture include research, training and extension, information and communication, value chain and market development, networking and partnerships, policy and program development, and institutional capacity building. I am organic champion in the continent of Africa. This declaration happened in one of the conferences on organic agriculture conference in Africa that happened in Nigeria. I think it was 2015, 2016. It has been an honor to me, I should say that. And that honor has come because since 1996, I have been forefront in pushing the agenda for organic agriculture within the country. I have also participated at a global level as a board member of International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movement, as a member of several committees where we are looking into harmonization of organic trade businesses between the third countries and the developed countries. So in all these initiatives, the committee set and they agree that yes, Matima deserved to be a champion, and I'm still strong enough to push the agenda of the organic forward. To me, I consider that as an honor because I also know of my other colleagues who are also actively engaging in this exercise. It is a boost. You know, you are a champion, and if you are a champion, you need to show people that what a champion can do. The biggest boost for me on that one is to say, now let me put this organic agriculture aspect on the ground. Let me do that organic agriculture intensively. Let me show people that we can go commercially and we can produce and we can sell using the organic principle. And because if you are being asked, like you're asking me now, you are a champion, what have you done as a champion? That should be the answer for me. And every time when I think about organic, I feel myself that I have an obligation. As a champion, I have an obligation to carry this agenda forward. I have an obligation wherever I get a platform. Wherever I get a platform, I have an obligation to talk about organic. And talking about organic as a champion, you should not shy out of it. There's a lot of pressure outside against organic, so you should be able to stand up and say it. Even people will start telling you that, oh, this is primitive and that and that. But for me as a champion, I feel I'm obliged to defend, to stand for the organic and to push the agenda forward. And I'm proud of the progress I'm making so far. Because organic is in nature. Everybody is organic to start with. Everything else is is going to be put on top of what we have already been doing. So I consider myself as an organic from birth. I have been raised on this farm, and my father, I've never seen him using any pesticide, never seen him using any chemical fertilizers. My schooling pushed me into using of the chemicals, fertilizers and pesticide in the name of modernization. And then when I finished my degree, the second degree, and I started working, and I was weighing between the use of these chemicals and how we have been doing our lives, and the message, the myth that has always been pushed that you cannot plant, you cannot grow without using these chemicals, I start asking questions about that. And for me, that one, I said, no, it is possible. I will produce tomatoes, I will produce spinach, I will produce papaya, I'll produce everything I want without using chemical coming from the manufactured factories. So to me, organic has been nature. And when I started being an organic inspector in the 1995-96, I realized that we are losing a lot by going into chemicals, and there are all these benefits that are associated with organic, and then more training in terms of how do you manage, and slowly, progressively from the organic to become more holistic. The idea, the methodology of permaculture start to come in, and I embrace that because that one has organic in the center of it, but at the same time it looks into the holistic nature of what you are doing in your farm. So you are not isolating yourself just in the production system of one particular commodity or crop, but you are associating yourself into all surroundings. You keep chicken, you keep cows, you see how you harvest your rainwater, you see how you manage the fertility of your soil, what goes into compost, what goes into the feeding of the chicken, and all around it. So that for me makes me see that the smallholder farmers, our nature of farming, our quality of life will very much improve if we engage ourselves into this kind of a production system. Organic farming has benefited me quite a lot because now I have a production system which does not depend on external inputs. Everything I'm learning, I'm producing, I'm doing is coming from within the farm. If I want to deter pests, I use my own neem, I use my own garlic, which I grow on my own piece of land. If I want to use fertilizer, I use my own compost, which I make in my own farm. So for me, to be input, not to depend on external input, is big part of the economies of scale, of the economies of the production system. The second part of it is health eating, because now we have produce that we know that they are safe for our health and that we are consuming within the household, but also open up an opportunity for me for marketing of it. now doing a delivery of the organic produce based on the demand of the people into their households, and they are all happy that they are assured of the quality of the produce, and also I'm assured of the income that I'm getting from being what I am. Organic farming in Africa is facing a tough competition from the businesses, companies that are producing chemical fertilizers, that are producing pesticides, that are looking for market opportunity for what they are producing. At the moment, Western countries are gradually moving to organic. Their conventional agriculture, they realize that it was a mistake, and now most of the countries are converting to organic. They even subsidize conversion to organic after realizing what harm these chemicals have been doing into the environment and to their lives of the people. The companies have been very rich. The companies are now looking for the opportunity of where they can sell their products. And African countries are the target for such sales. Most of the chemicals, and it is very sad to learn that chemicals which are already banned in Europe, they still find a way to come into African countries. They still find a market opportunity in the African countries in the name of you got to use this or that because then you'll be a modern agriculture, in the name of organic is not modern, is a primitive, is what and what. All these myths are put together because of the business. It's very sad to see that there are still people in the world, there are still industries in the world who are ready to kill people knowingly just in the name of making money for the product that they are having. Another challenge for the Africa is, I talked about it a little bit, is on the research. We have limited access. We most of the time depend on the support from the foreign countries to do research, and most of these foreign countries who can support those research are also beneficiaries for the same chemical industries. So we are caught in a vicious cycle. We are not getting an opportunity, we are not doing, and the government is not investing in doing our own research in what could be useful in our own environment that can protect us and that is not destroying the environment. Another challenge is knowledge. The farmers, the practitioners, the know-how, the education system that we have all gone through was all pointing into making business to these industries from the Europe in bringing their chemicals, fertilizers and the like. So at the moment you see that the capacity, the understanding about what is there in the organic, what it is, what are the benefits of it is very limited, and people are really struggling to get to know what to use against what in terms of increasing their production system. So in summary, we have an economic pressure from these companies. We also have our own underlying budget support in the research and extension for the organic in the African context for it to be known to the other people. And we also have we also have to push for the political agenda in support for the organic agriculture movement.
Jina langu naitwa Morandi Kalola Mazani. Ni stafu au mfanyakazi wa hapa Msonge Organic Farm Zanzibar. Najihusisha na kilimo cha organic. Kitu ambacho kinafanya kilimo cha organic kiwe cha pekee, kwanza ni kilimo ambacho ni endelevu. Nikizungumzia endelevu kwamba ni kilimo ambacho kwanza unapokuwa unalima kwa kutumia organic, kwanza unatunza mazingira. Maana yake ardhi unaitumia kwa muda mrefu kutokana na mbolea ambazo tunazitumia. Kwa hiyo kama unatumia kilimo tofauti na organiki, manake ardhi unaweza ukaitumia kwa muda mfupi. Kwa naweza nikasema kwamba kilimo cha organiki ni kilimo endelevu ambacho unaweza ukakilima miaka mingi. Kitu ambacho kinafanya kwamba naipenda kazi yangu, kwa sababu ninapolima mazao yangu kwa kutumia kilimo cha organiki, ninakuwa na uhakika na mimi mwenyewe pia ninapoyatumia na ninapoyauza kwa watumiaji, kwa sababu ni kilimo ambacho hakina mashaka katika mazao ambayo yanapatikana kwenye kilimo hicho, hususani katika madawa. Kutokana na tutumii kemikali, tunatumia madawa ya asili kabisa ambayo hayana itilafu yoyote kwa mtumiaji. Kwa hicho kitu ndicho kinachonifanya mimi nipende katika kilimo hichi.
Hi, my name is Ikram Ramadan Soraga and I'm the operations manager at the Practical Permaculture Institute of Zanzibar, PPIZ. Yes, we are practicing organic farming because of so many reasons, but the two main reasons are because it's eco-friendly, it is good for the environment, and what is good for the environment is good for the whole world. The other reason is because of health reasons. When you're eating organic, you're taking care of the body, and nowadays most of the food which is artificial and is farmed using so many chemicals, which destroys the environment first and foremost, and it also is not good for the body because the body cannot digest artificial ingredients. So yes, we're practicing it for the environment, for the general purposes, but also personally it is more healthy to eat organic than it is to eat food that has chemicals.
My name is Agnes Anania Bweye. I am working with the Practical Permaculture Institute of Zanzibar as a project manager and lead facilitator. Yes, we are practicing permaculture, which is organic farming is part of it, because we are not using any conventional fertilizers or pesticides, herbicide. We don't use them. We are making our own using natural sources such as plants, manure from cows and other animals. That's what we do, and that's what I know about organic farming. It's farming that is environmental friendly.
What makes this unique to Zanzibar is that we have an opportunity here in Zanzibar to create a movement. We have an opportunity here in Zanzibar to grow practical permaculture, to grow permaculture, and to establish it as the main way of farming. The dream for one of the directors of the Permaculture Institute is to have a whole organic island. We want to go to 100% organic, and it is our challenge, and we are taking this upon ourselves to make sure that Zanzibar becomes organic, the whole of Zanzibar, and it's our challenge to give out that knowledge. And at the institute here, we're working very hard to try and create that awareness. We're working very hard with different organizations. We're working very hard with the government to try and create that awareness about permaculture, about organic farming, so that we can have a more sustainable Zanzibar, better Zanzibar, and we can leave a future for our next generations and the generations to come.
I am Ambassador Amina Salumali, the Minister for Trade and Industry from the Revolutionary Government of Zanzibar. I am mandated in my ministry to develop industries and also to develop trade. Zanzibar, by its nature, is an organic island, I could say, because the use of fertilizer and inorganic inputs is to the minimum in some areas. Although in the food sector, especially the crops for food like rice and others, they are using fertilizer. But in the other aspect, for instance, when we deal with spices, we are using minimum fertilizers to be able to produce products like spices and other products. So I could say we have some parts of inorganic farming, but we have The other area we are using fertilizer, especially in the cash crops like food and other products. We are moving toward implementing organic farming, and the government took a decision a long time ago to encourage our farmers to be able to use organic way in terms of farming by using the leaves, rotation and other things. But as part of industry development, we have our company which are producing organic oil, essential oils, and other spices and other oil. They are buying from the farmers who are practicing organic farming. So there are parts of Zanzibar who are doing totally organic farming. They are certified. So that's the beginning. And it has taken us a lot of time, maybe more than 15, 20 years. But now there is a big movement to move toward working toward the organic farming and to encourage our farmers to be able to use natural ways of farming, use traditional method of farming, and also to be able to make Zanzibar as a green island.
My vision for organic production in the future is to have the Zanzibar Islands, both Unguja and Pemba, declared organic. This will make my day, because by then we will be a symbolic tourist island. Very few places in the world that I know have been declared as organic, and we have the opportunity and we have the chance and we have the possibility for the whole island to be organic, because we can monitor what is coming in, we can regulate, we can provide the needed support to turn it organic. So I look forward for having Zanzibar as an organic island, tourist destination, and also with healthy people, very limited diseases. Just like when we have been able to eradicate malaria, we'll be able to eradicate diabetes, we'll be able to reduce the pressure and all these associated diseases which are coming from our own making. So for me, the future is bright for the organic development. People have realized the harm that they've been causing by themselves so far, from the associated with the chemicals. And when you talk to everybody, would you like to have a tomato that has been sprayed Theodan yesterday? Everyone will say no, 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 no. And this is what is happening. And this is what we are pushing to stop. And I'm sure that it's possible to stop that once we have created quite an awareness, and especially for the consumers, that will make the farmers produce what can be sold and what will the consumer prefer as organic products. Organic farming, and I will also relate this with our East African organic ecological organic initiative. We have seen the opportunity that are coming from going ecologically organic for Africa, and the comparative advantage we have for that, and the easiness to become organic producer than to go to the conventional. So for me, it is a win-win situation. We will create industry for biopesticides using the plants and additives that are available in our own continent. We will create market opportunity for sale outside and for sale within our community. We will also create the population of healthy people, and in that way we will reduce use of limited resources that the countries have in purchasing of the drugs for the treatment of mostly of non-communicable diseases, which are caused by our own poor diet and dependent on using of refined and well-processed foods, and also using foods which have been annotated very much with the chemicals from the industrial countries. So for me, those are win-win opportunities. We can also make a good trade amongst ourselves in that.